Jeff, I got Thursday night football tonight. Steelers and Browns. You got any thoughts on the NFL play at all?
Nah, Mike, I can't say I played the game. I don't think there's much here. You got two offenses that I think are just bad. I think the one saving grace that the Browns have is they have a pretty damn good offensive line. Steelers are just a disaster on offense. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Look, any team that employs Mitchell Trubisky as their starting quarterback, I have to wonder about the thought process. I think Jacoby Brissett is a better option. You look at the defense, I would think it's probably a flip. I kind of, to me, understand why this number is what it is. Am I playing it? No. But I understand the move up to 4.5. I think the Browns just a better team. The Steelers can't get out of their own way right now on offense.
All right, Jeff, NFL card this week. Does anything jump out on the NFL side before we take a look at some of the college plays? There's two or three that I really like, but I'm interested to see if you got in on anything early.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to continue to keep my eye on this Bill-Dolphin game. Obviously, this total opened around 51. It's already been bet up to 52. You look at the Buffalo Bills right now, as you know, Mike, this is the best offense in the NFL. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that right now. But I have some real question marks right now with this group defensively. I know last week they shut down the Titans, but I also don't think the Titans are very good. You look at this high-flying Miami attack, Tua Tagovailoa can really move the football. They've got plenty of weapons, as we know. And what do we know about this Bill defense? Dane Jackson went out with a very scary injury Monday night. They're already working with two young players in Khair Elam and Christian Benford at the left cornerback position. I've got some real question marks about this group. And I feel like against a team in Miami that can really move the football, they play fast, they're never truly out of a game. It's probably going to be a high-flying matchup. I see no reason why this number doesn't keep getting bet up. And look, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think you're starting to see this Eagle number get a little ridiculous. Look, if I can get a 7 here, I'm going to probably lean towards Washington. This is a decent Washington team. And look, I'll say it. I don't love them on defense, but they've got plenty of weapons on offense. Carson Wentz is healthy. And, Mike, we all know this. When Carson Wentz is healthy and he, has some weapons around him, he gets some time, he can really be an effective football player at the quarterback position. I also will ask the Eagles defense. Now you want to see some continuity, some continued great defensive play. I look at this. If I can get a 7, I'm going to jump in on the team that's not going to be backed here. I have a feeling Del Rio is going to have a little something for Jalen Hurts.
I agree. The 7.5 is what I saw. I took the Commanders at 7.5 if I got asked. I like the Bears this week too. I also looked at that Bills. I think an overplay. Interesting there. Bills have won 7 straight against the Dolphins, averaging 37 a game against them. I don't think the Dolphins defense can stop them. So I like that play. Thursday night football on the college side, West Virginia being favored 2.5. Virginia Tech must be awful.
Two programs that have just really kind of fallen behind the wayside. This is not a good football game. Maybe 10 years ago it might be interesting, but just not any interest in this. I think it's a coin flip. Maybe you lean Virginia Tech because they're at home, but both these teams are working with two quarterbacks that transferred away from programs and really went up as far as stature is concerned. You go from Grant Wells, who was at Marshall, now he's at Virginia Tech. Definitely just not a game I'm real interested in. I think
the Claridge Hotel has been around for a number of years. Here at Park Place and the world-famous Atlantic City Boardwalk, just steps away from the beach. So we've had a number of people come through our doors, each with their own style and taste, which is why they chose the Claridge to take their visit to new heights. Book your getaway today at Claridge.com.
Interested in. I think, to be quite honest, Mike, I think the most interesting game on this card tonight is a game that no one will talk about. Illinois. They're playing this team, Chattanooga, who is, to me, a top 10 FCS team. Very good run defense. They have a former D1 quarterback at the helm. This is an Illinois team that really has trouble moving the football at times. And keep in mind, Mike, you look at FCS teams this year in college football. Southern Illinois won last week as an FCS team. Missouri State took Arkansas to the cleaners. And this same Chattanooga team almost beat Kentucky last year, held that group, a top 5 rushing offense in the SEC, to under 100 yards. This is a Chattanooga team that I think might be getting way too many points tonight in 21 or so. That's an interesting game to me, but I have my eye looking at Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I got the number at 20. Illinois is favored by 20. I agree with you there. Jeff Nadu, Barstool Sports. A couple Saturday thoughts. Alabama, 40.5. Vanderbilt. Is this a kind of, hey, we need to start re-impressing the pollsters here?
Yeah, I think anytime you see a game like this, you have to wonder. I mean, Alabama's coming off a 63-7 thrashing of UL Monroe. Look, I've seen Vanderbilt. I bet against Vanderbilt. I think they're definitely improving on offense. This is a whole nother animal. This kind of has the makings to me of, a game in week 2 that I looked at. I thought Colorado State's offense was okay, and I thought maybe they could at least score 14 against Michigan, and they got shut out. Or I think they scored 7. I think that's a similar situation here. Vanderbilt cannot stop you, me, Mike, your producer, and 7 people at the Tropicana or wherever you're at right now. That's just that simple. Vanderbilt can't stop anybody. This screams, 58-7 to me. But Alabama, when you look at them going forward, they got some really tough games on the horizon. Nick Saban is known to kind of call it dogs off. Maybe look first half here.
All right, first half is the play there from Jeff. Maryland, Michigan, that's your big noon Saturday. Minus 17, the number for Michigan, the Wolverines. What do you think?
Yeah, Mike, I think that the key to having some success at sports betting is you have to know when to bet games and when not to bet games. If you're betting overs, you need to be betting them early in the week. If you're betting unders, you should probably wait on them. Mike, I got this number at 60.5. It's up to 64.5, 65. People aren't stupid. This is going to be a higher scoring game. Michigan is the best offense in America right now from a point standpoint. Look, they're not going to get much pushback from a bad Maryland defense. I'd have to figure they're high 40s, maybe low 50s here. When we look at Maryland, okay, this offense is too good for this total to be where it is. Maryland can move the ball. They're very good in the red zone. They score touchdowns. They have a good receiver core with a damn good quarterback. Mike, when you look at Maryland, okay, they're not as good as Michigan in the red zone, but both these teams are very effective at scoring touchdowns, which is what you want in college football. If you're continuously backing teams that cannot finish in the red zone, you will not win very much. You look at Michigan, Mike, they are number 1 in the end or in college football in red zone attempts. They have 20 red zone attempts and 16 touchdowns. That's 80%. They've only settled for 4 field goals. I want teams that are going to score touchdowns in the red zone when I'm playing overs. Throw in the fact that Maryland plays fast and don't really defend anybody. I like the over here.
All right, likes the over on that one, but that number, as you mentioned, it's starting to climb. So if you want to jump on it, probably jump on it now if you didn't already. Clemson's favored by 7 over Wake Forest. It's weird to see Wake Forest against Clemson and it only be a touchdown line.
Yeah, and this actually has come down a little bit. I know a lot of sharp money's taken Wake here at home. This was 8.5. It's now down to 7. And look, Mike, anytime you see a move down to 7, that's a big move. A lot of sharp money back in the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Now, I have the same thought process. I think Wake's the play here if I'm playing it from the side standpoint. Then I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I'll just play the over. I mean, obviously I know Clemson's going to score. This offense has been very good. They're playing a lot faster. They're kind of letting the handcuffs off their quarterback a little bit, and he will be able to move the ball against Wake. You look at over the last 5 matchups against Wake, Clemson has scored 37 or more points in all 5 of them. Wake is also very good, very pass happy. They like to throw the football. I think they can get mid-20s here, Mike. And I think if they can get mid-20s, this screams like, 38-31, 34-28, something like that. I'm going to lean over the number. 55.5 is too low to me.
All right, a couple other ones that I'm interested in, man. I know there's a lot on this card. Kentucky, I mean, this is a top 10 team now. So they're playing, I don't know that I've ever in my life seen Kentucky favored by 26.5 playing Northern Illinois. I mean, I know Kentucky's pretty good, but it's so weird to see them in the top 10. Is that number too big?
Well, it always is to me, just because I know Kentucky and the way they play, and they're very much still in the 90s with the way they play. But, I know that for me, this Northern Illinois defense is a disaster. I mean, they can't seem to stop anybody. I know they have some quarterback problems. Rocky Lombardi went out with an injury last week against Vandy, and it kind of sucked because when he went out, he was 7 for 7 for like 80 yards and a touchdown, and then he goes out. Backup came in, played okay, but that was against Vandy. not going to be very easy playing a stepping up team here in Kentucky. I'd lean on laying the points, not a spot you want a young quarterback playing on the road.
Other one that two more that kind of stick out to me, and I'll let you get your favorite ones here, and then we'll see what Jeff's got going on later today. And I know you guys are got a chance for some people to buy some stuff over at Barstool for Jeff and help him out. Ole Miss 21.5. Tulsa is the number there. Ole Miss very interesting. They've only allowed 13 points this season, so 21.5 is kind of enticing for me.
Yeah, and they also have the best touchdown percentage in the red zone in America, 17 trips, 16 touchdowns. When you are backing favorites, you have to be looking at that sort of stat. You will not cover big numbers if you don't score touchdowns. This is not going to happen. Mississippi has been very good. They've kind of been working with this quarterback by committee type of thing. We know Lane Kiffin's got a great offense. They have a very good run offense as well. That's a team that can really put a group away. They blew out Georgia Tech last week. Tulsa, a team that will struggle to score. I'd have to think, though, this is the best team they're going to play so far, but it's not much better. It'd be Ole Miss or pass for me at home. The only concern is Ole Miss does have a big game next week against a top 10 team in the Grove, I believe they call it. But, yeah, that would be my thought there.
All right, last one from me, and then I want to see what your plays favorites are this week. USC's kind of back, man. I mean, they feel a little different from the last couple of USCs. -6.5, Oregon State. I watched that, where I had Fresno State that night against Oregon State. They scored with basically no time left on the clock, but this is a little different challenge for them. They are at home, 6.5 USC on the road.
Yeah, Mike, I think to me this number tells you all you need to know. This is the first road game for USC. They're a touchdown favorite in Corvallis. Look, Mike, I don't know much about Corvallis. It strikes me as a place where there's nothing else to do other than go to this game on a Saturday night. I'm all over Oregon State here. This Beaver team is supremely well coached, supremely. Jonathan Smith has done an absolutely incredible job there. They really showed me something going into Fresno and beating that team the way they did. They have a great run game. They have a solid quarterback who doesn't make mistakes. They have a damn good defense. Don't be surprised if Oregon State is in the shot to win this game. I'd like a 7 if I get involved, but this 6.5 tells me all I need to know. This number's not moved either after it came off 7. Strong indication that your square is going to back USC. And look, remember, Mike, I think Stanford, this is a very similar game to that. I thought Stanford should have covered that game. They had some opportunities late to get right back in it. They got to get a fast start here, the Beavers. Don't be surprised if they hang around. All
right, Jeff Nadu, Barstool Sports. Always appreciate him jumping on board. Your favorite plays this weekend or some of the stuff that you're targeting?
Yeah, Mike, a game that I'm really getting very close on is Kansas. The only kind of issue I have here is Kansas has kind of become a darling in the national markets. But I think this number kind of screams double-digit win for Kansas. I want to kind of pull back the onion just quickly and tell you who Duke has played so far, Mike. They're 3-0. They've beaten the Temple Owls, who, no offense, they're one of the worst teams in the country. Northwestern is a disaster. And then they played the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Not to write home about in these 3 games. Now you got to go on the road and play a team in Kansas who's playing out of their minds right now. Mike, if I asked you where Kansas is in the top 10 offensively in America, would you happen to know?
I'm out, man. I don't have a guess.
They're top 3. Okay, they have one of the best.
I watched them, man. I watched them for a full game against West Virginia and left pretty impressed offensively. Their defense is a little to be desired.
Right, but again, listen, I wasn't sold on Kansas until last week. I know because I study every team and I know everything about every team. Houston is a really good program. Okay, they are. They're well coached. I thought defensively they were really good coming into that game, and Kansas did whatever they wanted. This is an offense we have to start paying attention to. Their quarterback is really good. They've got a couple of receivers that are really solid, and they're well coached. They're prepared. They're believing right now. Duke is a team to me that really hasn't earned this 3-0. I think it's a complete fraud. I don't know if they'll win another game the rest of the season. I would look maybe towards laying it with Kansas. I'm also going to keep rowing the boat here, if you will, on overs involving South Alabama. This is one of the best over teams in the country. They have one of the fastest paces in the country. They throw more than virtually anyone. And they're playing a team in La Tech who can finally let their hair down against an opponent very similar to they are. The quarterback is good at La Tech. The coordinator is a guy called Sonny Cumbie. He was at TCU for a lot of years as our offensive coordinator. Likes to throw the ball fast, play quick. Two offenses that I think score some points this weekend. I'm going to look over 60.5 here.
All right, there you go. Jeff Nadu, Barstool Sports. Now, I see you've been tweeting out. You guys are having a little competition over there that maybe my listeners can help out with.
Yeah, whether you're listening right now and maybe your kid's a fan of Barstool, or maybe you like Barstool, or someone you likes Barstool, go right now to the Barstool Sports store. Anything in the merch catalog, anything in the store, okay? If you use my promo code NADU, N-A-D-U, you're going to get 10% off your entire order. So do me a favor, go help me. Listen, I don't ask anything of you folks. I'm a big fan of South Jersey. I give you some plays, picks, breakdowns. Show me a little love. Go check out my promo code at the Barstool store right now. And look, I got to be honest, Mike, I just bought some of the hoodies, the Nike hoodies they have, Barstool Sports on the front. Very good, very well made. Love the product. I bought a couple for the fall weather coming up.
Yeah, man, guys, if you're out there listening and you like Jeff's work, help a brother out, man. NADU, N-A-D-U. Use the promo code, and it goes towards the little competition they're having over there. And if you like Jeff, he'll have the YouTube show coming up at 4 o'clock on Thursdays. You can check that at any time on the Barstool Sports YouTube channel. Big Man on Bets. All right, man. It's always good to catch up with you, and we'll do it all again next Thursday.
Sounds good, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Jeff Nadu, Barstool Sports here on the